Well, good morning, community. Welcome to Stroke of Genius Podcast Survivor Experience. I'm your host, Aaron Alva. I'm 12 years post brain aneurysm and stroke. I've got a special guest for you today. I've known Michelle Jensen for quite a few years, and I watch what she does for the stroke community. And she's one of those people that stands out that uses stroke to help people. But I want this podcast to be about her and learning about her as a person and learning about her as a stroke survivor. And then we'll touch a little bit on how she uses stroke to help people. So let's get into it.
The Stroke of Genius podcast, hosted by brain aneurysm and stroke survivor Aaron Avila, sharing the experiences of survivors and CEOs. This is your destination for inspiration.
And there she is, without further ado, Michelle Jensen herself. Good morning, Michelle.
Morning, Aaron.
Thank you for being here, honey. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You know, I really want people to walk away from this podcast getting to know who you are. Getting to know you not as an admin, not as a runner of stroke squad, which we'll get into, but really kind of your stroke story. Because you had your stroke at an early age, I think you said 25. And
Yes.
So introduce yourself first.
Well, my name is Michelle Jensen, and I am 38. I currently live in South Dakota, but I grew up in Florida.
Kind of extreme weather difference between
Yeah, a little bit.
So you had your stroke at age 25, correct?
Yes.
So I'm going to take you back, and I'm going to take you back. Do you remember, did you have any warning signs to your stroke?
Well, so I had it after a car accident, and I was in an induced coma for 2 weeks. And it was during that 2-week period that I had the stroke when I was under anesthesia. And so I woke up. They wake you up at every so often intervals and ask you to move your feet or toes, fingers and stuff. And at one point, I just couldn't move my left side of the body.
Yeah, it's funny. You and I have something in common. I was also in a coma, drug-induced coma, for 2 weeks after my brain aneurysm, and had my stroke during that time. So I can relate to that because I woke up like you, half paralyzed. It was not fun.
Yeah.
So you were really a traumatic brain injury survivor.
I was both, technically. Yeah.
So tell me a little about your car accident. What happened?
Somebody pulled, I don't remember a thing. There's like a 2-month period where I just don't know, but this is what I was told happened. Somebody pulled out in front of me and then I hit them. So.
Oh, but technically, okay, so it was a front-end collision, not a T-bone or what?
It was I hit the rear passenger door, I believe, or rear driver side door. Excuse me. I think.
Michelle, let's take a minute and give some shout outs. We've got a few people there. I think we both know. Bryce Ben with North Carolina's out there.
Hi.
We've got Sherry Patterson from Niagara Falls out there.
Yep. And
we've got Abraham Rummer. I'm not sure you misspelled it. I thought it was Abraham, like Kemp. I don't think it's your last name is spelled Rummer. I want to check that, bro.
I think it's right.
It's right.
I think so.
Oh, no, my stroke brain is spread. We also have Junior Hernandez.
Yes, sir.
Now, it's funny, I don't know, Michelle. I didn't want to get sidetracked too much. But thank you for being out there, guys. Please comment, ask any questions. I'll pick comment on the screen later again. But Junior Hernandez had an AVM bleed last week.
Last week. Yeah. Oh no, it's YouTube. That's not how you spell his last name. You're right.
Well, AVM, bro, hey, listen, you need to fix it. I mean, I, I'm just telling you, if needs about getting it fixed, I'll help you, brother. But I'm a stroke survivor. I mean, I've been kind of happy and remember. It's like good.
There you go. Yes.
All right, well, let's jump right back into your car accident again. So you were in a car accident, and it sounds like you're T-bone.
Yeah.
You T-boned someone else.
Someone. Yeah.
And you hit your head on the window, or did they know where you hit your head?
I honestly don't know. I don't know many details about the car accident, literally other than what I just told you.
So you were knocked unconscious, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I rode in a helicopter to the trauma unit of the hospital, and I have no recollection of any of it. Like I said, 2 months. I have no idea.
Yeah. I can relate when I'm been injuries and I'm on an airplane. Oh, we got Raquel out there. She's gonna be on my show coming up.
Oh, yay. Okay, great.
Yeah, I don't know if you met her, but anyway. I don't recall anything either. I woke up like you 2 months later from my coma, drug induced like you. So how long were you under in a coma for?
2 weeks. I think that's all they should keep you under, I guess, is what I was told. I think that's the standard, maybe.
So how did they know you had a stroke during the coma?
Well, during that, because you're drug induced, the drip, they stop it for a period of time. So they wake you up and they tell you to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, and then they put you back under. I mean, you probably don't even remember doing it. I mean, I don't, but that's what I was told happens.
So at some point they realized you had a stroke. You were not able to move your fingers or lay your fingers. So what do you remember when you come out of that drug-induced coma? What is first thing you remember right now that you remember happening or wake up to?
Probably the first thing is being fed through a tube in my stomach.
Yeah, that was no fun. A peg, I think called a peg tube. Right?
A J tube and a G tube. I had both. So
Now, how long did you go to rehab?
I did not go to a rehab hospital. I had 2 broken legs, and some other injuries, and so I had to go to a nursing home, and it's not like a rehabilitation nursing home. This is like I'm in there with people who are like 80 years old. This is where people go when they can't take care of themselves. And so my PT was very limited, and it wasn't until 6 months later when my femurs and feet had healed enough. And so yeah.
So here you are, these 25. You get out of coma, you're stroke, half paralyzed. You're in a home with 80-year-old people.
Yeah.
You're like a baby compared to people with. Yeah, we talked about a shock. I mean, you and I were talking, and we're going to be working on with hopefully Ralph Preston we got to be working on this issue of the time between the hospital and home, called Bridging the Gap. It's a video series. We're going to be working on people. Be patient with us, but we are going to be working on that. Called, again, Bridging the Gap. So during that Bridging the Gap, when you went to the nursery home, then they brought you home. They took you were released at home.
Yeah, 11 months later, I went home. 11 months after my car accident. Yeah.
Oh my God, honey, that's a long time.
It's a
So
long time.
so you were in that nursing home for quite some time.
Yeah, I couldn't eat for 10 months, couldn't walk for 6. And I couldn't use my hand the whole time. Well, I mean, I still can't.
Show everybody your hand now, because it's impressive to me. Look at, I mean, you actually can use it right. It's a spine right now, but you actually are able to move it and use it right.
I can open and close it. I just can't move my fingers really, like, individually. Like, I can't do this, but I'm working on it. I do hold my thumb in this position, and then I will touch each finger to it with my other hand helping, because that's sometimes, not sometimes, that is just as effective as when you can do it yourself.
Yeah, and I can remember when you weren't even doing near what you're doing now. I can remember that.
Yeah,
known you that long.
that's how long we've known each other.
You were just kind of attacking it and really working hard to get your fingers moving. You're doing it, so I'm proud of you.
Thank
But
you.
we had the car accident. We were put in the hospital. You didn't get released to convalesce at the hospital. And now here's your mom and dad. Mom and dad left with take care of you. So at what point did you start cognitively going, I better get up and do something?
2 years later.
It took 2 years.
I was basically depressed. I was apathetic. I didn't care. I always just say that life happened around me. I didn't participate in life at all.
Now that went on for what? How many years did you feel that way?
2 years.
Wow. Did you put up some topics in the green room we're talking that you wanted to discuss? So I'm going to basically, you go through your list and let's talk about what you want to talk about. You made a list.
Okay, well, basically, what I learned from my experience is that we are not prepared after we have the stroke, when we leave the hospital, rehab, whatever it is. Our families are not prepared either, which is why Bridging the Gap would be such a great idea for both parties. And we're definitely not prepared for the mindset it takes to do the whole recovery journey thing. We're not prepared for the emotional changes and what it takes to deal with them. We're not prepared for the we're given no resources, no support groups. At least I wasn't. I don't think you were either, Erin. We aren't given enough information, no explanations really, and definitely not enough therapy. So there's a whole host of aspects to this whole thing that I wasn't prepared for. I don't think many people could say that they honestly had complete 100% support post-stroke.
Right. That, again, that start like that, because I had the same start you did. And that's why I wanted you work with you, and hopefully Rob Paris and anybody else out there that wants to get involved in this project called Bridging the Gap. because we're not prepared. But it carries over to our whole journey, our whole stroke journey.
Mhm.
We're not prepared. What else you got for us?
Me?
Yeah, what's there something else you want to go through?
Well, I mean, basically, that's the list of things that I just thought was important for people to know, that there are resources out there. And me, myself, what I do is now I run a Facebook group. My group is focused on really exercise and therapy and staying positive with a mindset to make it happen, to stay determined, motivated, resilient, and persistent with all the therapy and the exercise that it takes to do the whole process. And I try to provide information that I wish I had known right after my stroke. And so I just try to be the person that I wish I had known. And through my experience, I really had no therapy. And so I found exercise to be my therapy, both to help me get out of depression and to help me make improvements in my hand, so much so that I became a personal trainer. I have an emphasis in exercise therapy and corrective exercise. So like my goal is really to help stroke survivors with all of this. That's
It just so everybody knows that there. If you're not a member of Michelle's group, Soak Sweat Squad, I think
yes.
she knows that that is a very hard word, 3 words for me to say with my speech disability. I want you to know that Stroke TV Media endorses Michelle Jensen and Stroke Sweat Squad. So please join the group. Look it up on Facebook. Join the group, and you won't regret it. You also have a YouTube channel. You're pretty active on YouTube.
Yep. So the YouTube is stroke. This you don't have to say it, Aaron. You're gonna hate it. Stroke strength support.
Oh no, no! I don't think well. All right, let's pause a second. Let's give a shout out there, Jocelyn.
Hey, Jocelyn and Sherry and Jeff. Oh, hey, Jeff. Yes.
Yeah, Jeff Mungery Roberts out there.
Abe and Junior. Yep.
Yeah, we got a great community of people.
Oh,
Really
yes.
exceptional. But why do you think it is? Some stroke survivors, like I know, because I help many stroke survivors. I've been doing this for about 7 years now. Why do some like you and me and others use a stroke, Jocelyn, use a stroke or their brain injury and don't recluse up to little isolated ball, but branch out and help people?
So I think that um, every single survivor that participates in any support group is helping other survivors, because when you say something, other people could relate to you, and that helps them know that they're not alone, number one. So everyone can help other stroke survivors. But then I think some people just feel the need to just be that voice for the other survivors and really help them through our own experience and what we can offer to the group.
That's so true. I think the point is every little bit helps. I don't care if
Yes.
it's a down the acknowledgement of someone's post within the group. You're helping someone realize they're not alone. I know. Did you go through? You went through depression. I went through somewhat depression. You went through suicidal part about me,
Yeah.
but knowing you're not alone It's huge. It's beyond huge.
Yes.
And that is why it's so great that you, me, Jeff, Jocelyn, many others step up and let us all know we're not alone. But I do want to give a shout out to one of your fans, obviously.
Oh, Eric, yes.
He says you helped him a lot, Michelle.
Well, yes, and Eric helps me a lot too. But Eric is so motivational with his posts. I mean, anybody who posts, it's so inspiring to read other stories about successes, improvements, gains, all of it. And it's just, and even the posts where people are struggling, it helps you know that you're not alone. And so those help too. And so, like I said, every survivor has a piece of information that will help someone else. And but Eric he says I'm a rock star. I think he's a rock star. So
I agree. It's funny that that's coming because I changed the way I think. I realize that I have a lot to have, but I'm not thinking it's unintentional. The universe and me builds through TV media the way it is. But it's time I personally focus on rebuilding my life at stroke. Focus on I told you, I dream of walking today. I watch Eric driving. I dream of driving one day. Do you drive, Michelle?
I don't.
Okay. Um, but I do have a dream of buying a what they call Class C, traveling all over the United States and being certified is a dream of mine. That dream.
That'd be great. That's a
But
great.
you also do the Stroke Squad Squad. You do. I can't. You say you. What are the ways do people get in touch with you? How can they get in touch with you on social media?
Well, I have the Stroke Strength Support as a page on Facebook as well as the YouTube channel. On Instagram, I post sporadically, but that one is at Stroke Strength. And then I also have a blog, Stroke Strength .support. And then two other places are at Exercise for Therapy, which is a blog with that URL and also a YouTube channel with that name.
All right.
A few places.
Here's another one of your fans right here. Says your awesomeness personified.
Junior's amazing. He's one of my, he and I talk frequently, especially lately, and he's amazing.
Junior is amazing. We do a show on Saturday called it's one of those things I produce, but no one knows it's me back there. But Stroke TV Media produces. It's called the Stroke of Humor podcast or Stroke Humor Show. And we do it every morning and Saturday at 10 a.m. And, he's one of the comedians on there. What a laugh. I mean, you've heard this laugh. But like I said, there's a handful of stroke survivors that rise up. What Michelle and I have to tell you, if you survived a stroke, brain injury, sometimes you have the ability to rise up and help someone. You don't have to be perfect or be speaking super well. Look at me. You don't have to do anything. Just be yourself. Let people know they're not alone, right, Michelle?
Even just a comment on a post on Facebook. It's you're always there. You're always helping someone, and each of us has that ability to do so.
Yeah, so I was on the show with Caleb from Genius Network, and we were talking about finding your purpose after stroke.
Yeah.
And that is so true. People look at Stroke survivors like other stroke survivors like me. I've been doing that for 7 years, but you gotta start somewhere. And Michelle Lane will tell you, stroke survivor, you could inspire far more people than you think. Just, I mean,
Yep.
really.
Yep.
And like you said, just comment that post,
Yeah.
post a word of encouragement. That's how it starts.
Yep.
But don't just sit there, curl up a ball, isolate yourself, and say it's over, because it's not.
Never over. And it it's never over as long as you never give up. And just being there for someone else is gonna help you in return because it makes you feel good too.
Yeah, I heard one guy, famous person I follow, said the most selfish thing you can do is help someone else.
That's so true.
So it's so true. I get it. That when you put yourself out there, stroke survivor, you end up getting so much positive energy back from that. It's selfish.
Yeah.
You know, okay. Okay. I guess I'm talking too fast because my bro, my bro was telling me so that's a t-shirt I made. The comedy club made up a phrase that picked me. I get excited. I talk too fast. I start smashing my words. So Jeff one day said, "Slow down, turbo." That's a t-shirt I'll be getting made for the comedy club.
That's awesome.
Yeah, slow down, turbo.
I like the t-shirt idea. Do it.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. Well, Michelle, is there anything else you'd like to say? Because we're almost down to time. Is there anything else you'd like to share? Any part of you? We covered your accident, we covered your hospital stay, therapy, stroke. What can we expect you doing in the future? What is your plans? What do you got going?
So, like I said, I became a personal trainer because of my experience with a lack of therapy and the benefits and gains I have seen with exercise. And I mostly want people to really remember from this podcast is that I didn't start working on my left arm and hand until 9 years post stroke. I'm almost 13 now, and I am making gains every single week. I make some sort of progress somewhere, and you don't. You can always make progress as long as you never quit. And the brain is always there to rewire itself. And all we have to do is put in the consistent repetition of the work.
That is really encouraging to me because I'm going on 12 years post stroke, and I'm looking forward to seeing that neuroplasticity still take place after 12 years.
It's a thing, and it is there always.
All right. Well, again, Michelle, appreciate you being here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fire.